So, I don't like watching movies,
You suck!
but over my little break from the internet, I did sit down with friends and family and I watched a couple of films. I wanted to come back to my channel with something lighthearted and fun, sort of before I give any life update and an explanation as to why I've been gone. So, today we're talking about The Castle, Lake Mungo, The Mugai, and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Thank you for being so patient with me while I was gone. I'm slowly making my comeback to the internet, but I will only be posting as long as I'm having fun, because I don't want this to feel like a chore amongst all the other things I have to do in my life. So, without further ado, welcome back to my channel where I do whatever I want and I have no niche. So, our first movie is The Castle. It's scarily accurate to my, and I assume a lot of other Australian families. The plot does make the movie sound boring. Basically, we follow Daryl Kerrigan as he fights to keep his home while the airport next door wants to expand onto his property and in turn bulldozing his house. Luckily, this movie is a comedy, so it does make it more of an enjoyable watch. Otherwise, I don't think I would watch this movie so many times in my life. I've obviously seen this movie before. It's an Australian classic. It was a classic in my household growing up. I had to watch it for my humanities class in year 9. It's a pivotal movie for all Australians. Every Australian should and probably already does know this movie like the back of their hand. So I actually watched it this time around because it came on TV when I was staying with family. And obviously my family was like, cool, let's watch it. So I joined in as I would anytime this movie pops up. If you ever want me to hang out with you, tell me we're going to watch The Castle. With themes of community, family, and the meaning of home, it will always be a lighthearted and fun movie to revisit. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, like I do every time I watch it. So next up is Lake Mungo, and the review I left for this one on Letterboxd was, hey guys, what the fuck? Because what the fuck was that? Basically, in Lake Mungo, we follow a family after their daughter dies from drowning in a nearby lake. The lake isn't Lake Mungo, that comes in a bit later, but I don't want to spoil anything. So we're going to move on from that fact. Just know that Lake Mungo is significant, but it's not the lake that she dies in. Throughout this movie, a heap of secrets about this young girl get uncovered, unsettling characters get introduced, and oh yeah, how could I forget about the terrifying found footage element in this film? This movie wasn't terrifying in the traditional sense of a horror film. It was more so devastating, heartbreaking, gut wrenching. Let's just say if you've ever been a misunderstood teenage girl, this movie's gonna hit pretty hard. But it'll hit hard like in a good way. Maybe it's a me thing. I personally love when movies do that. So I think I forgot to mention that this is also an Australian film. There's a bit of a theme up until we hit the SpongeBob movie. Yeah, the first 3 movies I'm talking about are Australian, and then the SpongeBob movie isn't. It's just kind of thrown in there. I did have a friend recommend this one to me a few years ago, and I finally got the courage to watch it, only to unexpectedly bawl my eyes out at the end. I don't really know how to prepare anyone to watch this movie or like what they should know going into this one. I personally think you should know nothing. After a very vague description of this movie, I did give it 5 out of 5 stars. I cannot put into words how much this movie impacted me. I was thinking about it for days after, weeks after. I still think about it now, and I watched it a month ago. It just really is. It's haunting. It's a haunting film. So if you're going to watch it, be prepared, but don't look up anything about it. Next up is The Mugai. As I mentioned before, another Australian film. I don't think I'm giving away the plot or anything by mentioning that I think The Mugai is very obviously an allegory for the impact of white man on the stolen generation. I'm treading lightly with this one because I obviously don't want to offend anybody. It's just, these are all my opinions. This movie was obviously incredibly moving. I think the idea behind it is incredible. I don't think the execution was there. Some of the acting just wasn't great. This movie did make me cry, so I did give it 3 out of 5 stars. Again, it was really just the acting that let it down. The rest of it was brilliant. And finally, we land on the SpongeBob movie. Bit of a weird one following 2 horror films, but I was watching this hungover at a friend's house after her birthday, and it took 2 hours for our breakfast to get delivered. So we had to do something to pass the time. Again, SpongeBob movie. Obviously, I've seen it multiple times throughout my life. My brother and I grew up on SpongeBob, and we still quote episodes and scenes and everything like crazy, which is probably why I'm still single. Basically, the movie followed me recapping the SpongeBob movie is an insane YouTube video, but the movie follows SpongeBob SquarePants, the sponge. He's basically trying to prove that he's a man and like his manhood and everything after he doesn't receive a promotion at work because Mr. Krabs sees him as a child. So our little sponge friend and his friend go to find King Neptune's crown. Otherwise, Mr. Krabs will basically be incinerated by King Neptune. Mr. Krabs is in trouble because Plankton actually stole the crown but framed Mr. Krabs as part of his world domination scheme. There's cameos from David Hasselhoff, obviously. You've seen the memes, they're out there. You know he's in this movie. There's also a cameo of a Motorhead song, but instead of You Better Run, it's You Better Swim. It's very enjoyable. I obviously have no notes for this movie. It always makes me laugh, and then I cry when SpongeBob and Patrick are getting shriveled under that lamp, and their tears form that heart. It gets me every time. Didn't make me cry as a kid, but it makes me cry as an adult. Obviously, the way I've been talking about it, you can probably guess 5 out of 5 stars. One of my favourite movies, never gets old. Well, there you have it. A movie hater reviewing movies. It gets pretty wild over here on this channel. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. So subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I'll review movies again in the future. Who knows?